Hi, I'm Anthony Fury, filling in for Brian Lilly. Thanks so much for watching us. Canadians in Iraq, that is the topic of tonight's Byline. On Friday, Prime Minister Harper announced we'll be sending several dozen Canadian Forces members to northern Iraq. This, I say, is wrong, because it is naive. The main foreign policy lesson the West should have learned over the past decade is that we simply cannot solve the problems in the Middle East. All that we can do is contain them from poisoning our own lives. As Sarah Palin advised last year, let Allah sort it out. Now, the Canadians are only supposed to be playing an advisory role and for only a 30-day deployment. But after hearing Defense Minister Rob Nicholson and Foreign Affairs Minister John Baird speak at a committee on Tuesday, well, Canadians should be a little worried that our government doesn't even know what they're trying to accomplish over there. Do we have any specific criteria by which a judgment should be made? That's NDP MP Jack Harris asking them about how they'll know whether or not they want to extend the deployment. They never really answered the question clearly, and that's a problem. But then again, everyone there in attendance seemed to have a different idea of what the goal was. John Baird said it's to urge Iraqi leaders to come together in a pluralistic government. He added that a unified leadership must put aside ethnic and religious divides. Okay, well, good luck with that. There are multiple religious sects and over 150 tribes. Not getting along is just what they do. Liberal MP Marc Garneau said that, I quote, ISIS has to be dislodged and eventually defeated. Well, I somewhat agree, but should that Herculean task be part of this small commitment? NDP MP Paul Dewar made clear, and I quote, the priority for our government is to help those that are suffering. He was predominantly referring to refugees. And then he added that supporting the victims of sexual violence and then prosecuting the perpetrators of that was key. Baird voiced agreement. And then Andrew Bennett, he got involved. He's the head of the Office of Religious Freedom. He brought attention to his own wheelhouse, saying Canada will be funding, I quote, interfaith dialogue in Iraq. Oh, gee, great. We might as well just build a safe injection site there while we're at it. What will we accomplish by going over there? That's what needs to be asked. We going to transform the country into a stable society? Well, the Americans tried that for a decade, and it didn't work. And don't give me that, well, Obama withdrew the troops too early argument. I mean, how long were they supposed to stay there? Another 10 years, 20 years? How many more American troops needed to be killed? How many more trillions of dollars did the taxpayers need to be fleeced for this endeavor? Iraq is just a total mess by our standards. But we can't change that. They have to. And I don't even know if they can change it. It's made up of religious sects that inherently don't like each other, still largely a tribal society. If they manage to govern together for even one session, well, that's the exception. That's not the new rule. Now, Baird dismissed mission creep, the idea that this action that Canadians are doing will lead to more. But the whole problem with moral agents like Canada being in places like Iraq is you see these additional problems while you're there, and you feel an obligation to solve them. So your mission changes. Solution? Don't physically go there to begin with. Okay, but we're already there. So here's what we should do going forward. For the foreseeable future, there will always be Islamist nut jobs over there. Nothing will change that. I don't like that one bit, but it's the truth. One year Al-Qaeda is the big dog. Next year it's the Islamic State. They come, they go. Don't act surprised by it. And we can't pretend we suddenly have a magic bullet solution one day. We don't. Now, our goal is not, should not, be to make life wonderful over there. I wish we could easily do it, but we can't. Our goal should be to watch them and eliminate the means they have to harm us whenever they develop them. Now, right now, the Islamic State has the intent, and they are developing and hold some of the means. Oh, he's got a tank. Bomb it. Oh, they're all gathering in the hills of Bora Bora right now, likely planning an attack. Bomb them. Listen to your intel. Research proves the West could have done better in the lead up to 9/11. We know that. So that's it. No sending troops down there to build schools. Now, the U.S. is doing targeted strikes now, and they will continue to. Those began in early August. They should keep doing them, and we should help them. This current Canadian deployment is for 30 days, and it may be extended. I mean, remember the rule. In government, there's nothing more permanent than a pilot project. we should be very skeptical of mission creep here. 30 days of free advice from experienced Canadian Forces members sounds like a wonderful deal for them. Leave it at that, then bring the boys home. And that's the byline.
Based on the assessment of needs on the ground, President Obama has requested a commitment of Canadian military advisors. In response to this request, Cabinet has authorized the deployment of several dozen members of the Canadian Armed Forces.
And this is our top story of the day. Ray Hurd joins me in studio now, Sun News contributor. Ray, that's my take. What do you think of the monologue?
Good, but I think you should have dealt with the reality of what Harper's doing. Harper is saying he's sending special forces to northern Iraq. In fact, he's doing a smart thing. He's giving aid to the only ones who are going to win this war, and they are the Kurds. The Kurds are moderate. They have women fighting on the front lines, which incidentally means that if one of these bad guys from ISIS, a strict Muslim, is killed by a woman, he goes straight to hell. But the Kurds are relatively civilized, they are stable, they were going to have a referendum in a few days' time to declare their own independent state. They've delayed doing that. The Kurds go back in history as a wonderful, relatively moderate fighting force. And do you know who their great hero is? Saladin. And you know what Saladin did? He protected, he took Jerusalem from the Crusaders, and today, and didn't murder the Crusaders who were Christians. Today, in Iraq, guess who's protecting the Christians? The Kurds.
But Ray, I got to jump in. That's fine to say that the Kurds are the most preferred of the different actors on the ground there. But what I'm saying is, I don't want to pick winners and losers. I don't want to say today that guy's our friend, tomorrow those other guys are our friends, because it's only a bad scene for us. The scene is so fluid. The actors are going to change in a few years, and we're going to have to re-strategize. And we know this is a multi-year campaign.
Yes, but the Kurds are geographically a unit. They extend from Iraq, where, by the way, they were gassed by Saddam, some of them. They go into Turkey, they go into Syria. They are coherent, cohesive group. They are great fighters. They are pro-Western. So what I would like to see happen, and I think this may be Harper and Obama's secret objective, let the Kurds win some battles, cordon off, create a new state of Kurdistan, and then do what you say earlier, let the Sunni and Shia terrorists fight it out in what remains of Iraq.
But the challenge there is 10 years ago when we said, this is all we're going to do in Afghanistan. This is all we're going to do in Iraq. Just that. We're just going to do this little mission. And look what it turned into. And my concern, I don't really have a problem with what you're saying, but you're saying, and then we go on and we isolate the situation. I don't know if we can get over that initial hurdle that you're talking about.
I support what you're saying in one respect. I covered Vietnam. That was mission creep. I remember when President Kennedy and then Johnson said they were just sending in a few Green Berets to advise, and they ended up with 500,000 men there and a generational revolt of young Americans against their own president, and even Watergate. So, but the Kurdish situation is somewhat different. The problem in what used to be Yugoslavia was solved when they carved it up into separate entities. I say the solution in the Middle East is to carve it up into entities which are religiously and culturally coherent. And the best place to do that is what will be called Kurdistan one day, which will be a stable, creative, civilized part of the world that we and the Americans can help with arms and help protect them from the evil of Islamo-fascism.
And you're talking a wise geopolitical long game. Right now, I want us to focus on where our interests are. I think our interests are just in obliterating ISIS when they get too tough. I want to do that from over here with the binoculars. I don't want to do it there where we have to, what is it, fight for religious freedom in a country where we don't even want to be involved with them? That's madness.
Your only problem is this. If we don't take them out there...
Bomb them. I'm saying bomb them.
No, but some of them are going to try to come home to Canada and to create problems here.
Some have already come home,
yes,
we know from CSIS.
And mainly from Calgary, I think. So this is a danger to us. I think we need much tougher laws. Anyone who supports or who goes abroad to fight for ISIS or any other terrorist organization should never be allowed to come back to Canada. They would not be allowed on the planes. Their passports would be taken away. Their citizenship would be taken away, because we are domestically in a fight for survival.
I agree with you there that we got to deal with these folks. On the program last night, I was really hard on Justin Trudeau for not going into those mosques and street fighting for Canadian values when he talks to them. Ray Hurd, thank you very much for your take on this. And